muscle that gives Parliament its soul, but the enduring principles of balance, precedence, and the inclusion of minority voices in decision-making. Parliamentary politics, then, is not merely a numbers game. Yes, numbers matter, but principles matter more. At its core, Parliament is a moral contract, a shared understanding that power must be exercised with restraint, and that electoral victory, no matter how decisive, must never become a license for institutional overreach or unchecked dominance. End quote. Mr. Speaker, the majority caucus in this 9th Parliament has time and again wielded its numerical strength not as a mandate to shape and enrich debate, but we've often seen this as being used as a weapon to impose its will on the House. A clear example in their sudden increasing reliance on certificate of urgency for every bill to railroad legislation, sidestepping due diligence and undermining parliamentary scrutiny, and eroding the oversight role that is so essential to our democracy. We have witnessed on multiple occasions the majority bulldozing its way through decision-making processes with scant regard for consensus or constructive engagement. But democracy is not about majoritarian tyranny. It is about balance, inclusion, and accountability. The dangerous precedents being set by the majority, where power is exercised without restraint, must not be encouraged. We would encourage our colleagues to bear with us, even as we put forward our argument to scrutinize. They must not see it as frustrating them, but they should see it as our bit in enriching parliamentary democracy. Mr. Speaker, government has time and again been compelled to reverse unlawful or ill-conceived actions after the minority raised the alarm. The so-called Doomsday levy, we welcome the suspension, but surprisingly, government used a backdoor to implement it to further burden the people of Ghana. We reiterate that we support any attempt at ensuring reforms at ECG. We do not agree to the imposition of levies and taxes. Within this 6 months alone, government has increased the levies, increased levies and imposed burden on Ghanaians when it comes to electricity consumption. And we know that the people deserve better. We support reforms and would urge government to come forward with reforms rather than imposing taxes. Mr. Speaker, it is very troubling that within this short period, a lot of businessmen are facing crisis because they are being targeted in one way or the other. The minority wonders why. Foreign businesses are doing well, but Ghanaian businesses have become targets of certain state institutions. Mr. Speaker, the recent attack on the warehouse of Magdan is something that we should all condemn. It is not proper for a country to see the unleashing of state security on the private business of a Ghanaian, whereas there is no single foreign business in our country suffering from such attacks from state institutions. This must end. We should encourage our own and support our own. We should build our Ghanaian industry and not subject them to partisan affiliations. It will not help our country. To our friend Magdan, I say to you, you are one example of a Ghanaian businessman who has done so much, created jobs, yet going through this. We pray that the good Lord himself will comfort you in this difficult moment, as well as all those businesses that have become subject to attacks because some people feel they are affiliated to one political party or the other. Mr. Speaker, on Galamsey, this government has become a tragedy before our very eyes. There's a complete breakdown of the fight against illegal mining. Galamsey is now worse. This government has completely failed in its fight against Galamsey. Our rivers are polluted. Our forests are vanishing. Our children are drinking poison water. Yet those who promised to end Galamsey, as soon as they are voted into office, have become the chief enablers. On May Day, the Trade Unions Congress, TUC, publicly condemned the NDC government's weak, half-hearted approach to tackling illegal mining. And what did they get in return? Verbal abuse, baseless accusations of partisanship, and vile attacks from the NDC's communicators. They were not alone. The University Teachers Association, UTAG, also added its voice to the national outcry. UTAG has issued a stark ultimatum. If President Mahama fails to honor the anti-Galamsey pledge he voluntarily signed before the 2024 election, they will embark on a strike action. The Catholic Bishops' Conference has also boldly added its voice on this matter. Government must take action. And if indeed government is determined, this house, this side of the house, the minority, is ready to support this government to deal with the issue of Galamsey. The consequence of this government's Mr. Speaker, the consequences of this government's negligence are not abstract. Doctors are now sounding the alarm over a spike in gallbladder-related diseases in communities affected by Galamsey. This is not just an environmental crisis. The conflict of interest is glaring. Economic gain versus environmental integrity. So long as we create incentives for gold sourced from illegal mining, we are not fighting Galamsey. We are funding it, and government must take note of this. This House must demand accountability and transparency from Gold Board and insist on mechanisms to verify responsible sourcing. Anything less would rather increase the situation and worsen it. Mr. Speaker, let me now deal with the issue of the unrest in Bawku. Mr. Speaker, we witnessed an alarming surge in insecurity, including spillover of Bawku conflict that tragically claimed the lives of students in Nalerugu and Bawku. Mr. Speaker, fortunately for us, the leader of the House is the MP from Bawku, for Bawku. I call on this House, let us avoid making this a partisan matter. Let us pray for peace in Bawku. Let us reach out and encourage all stakeholders that have been given the mandate to mediate, to do their work. Let us guide our utterances and ensure that there is peace in that part of our country. Mr. Speaker, when peace is attained in Bawku, it would have positive spiral effects on other areas in the country. Conflict in other countries starts in such manner, and with time, it just gets out of hand. We must not allow Bawku to get out of hand. And I want to assure my respected colleague, the majority leader, that I will always remember him in my prayers. I can just relate to it. If it were my constituency, how would I even go there and all? As well as other constituencies in the Kusau area. I pray for peace for them, and I say that your colleagues in this house are here supporting you in prayers, and we believe that with concerted effort, our country would experience peace, and your people would also experience peace for development to take place there. Mr. Speaker, let me deal with the issue of attack on our journalists, the media. Mr. Speaker, recently the GJA president had cause to express concern about what is happening to journalists. The assault of not fewer than 12 journalists have become of grave concern to the Ghana Journalists Association. Mr. Speaker, the executive must speak out and end this. Now let me also turn to the state institutions that are involved in investigations. Mr. Speaker, this side of the house, the minority, is never against accountability. I repeat, the minority in this house is never against accountability. But we want to say to the state agencies, execute your mandate with a human face. We are seeing situations where, Mr. Speaker, bail is being used as punishment. Iyoko, for instance, is
Honorable minority, please address the chair.
Mr. Speaker, today we see Iyoko granting bail with onerous conditions. Suspects are being demanded to provide title documents, valued title documents, and it is done such that the person will remain days in custody. Mr. Speaker, we have to watch some of these. As a country, if we don't find space to end bitterness and revenge, it will continue. Today, it is NDC in office. NDC will not be in power forever. If something happened yesterday, it is time for us to end it. Because, Mr. Speaker, tomorrow, for those who are occupying positions, they should remember that if they don't control and check some of these things, it may be difficult for the moderates in the opposition party to control those hawks when that time comes. It is time to end the bitterness, the revenge, and the pain. We are a country of one people. If the hawks will continue to dictate to governance, so be it, but we'll live to see. Mr. Speaker, I cannot gloss over what is happening to our judiciary. Our Chief Justice is being hounded. The ongoing situation involving the suspended Chief Justice raises serious concerns. The process lacks transparency and is being cloaked in so much secrecy. The public is left in the dark, and the questions are mounting about the selective justice, political witch hunt, and the shielding of party loyalists. The judicial must never be reduced to a battlefield for political score settling. The Attorney General's recent conduct raises serious concerns about politicization of justice. we are witnessing a troubling pattern of selective prosecution where political opponents are swiftly targeted while allies of the government are shielded from accountability. This blatant double standard undermines public confidence in the justice system and threatens the rule of law at its core. Today, there's a new word in town, 60-40. Mr. Speaker, before I bring my remarks to a close, let me touch on a matter that occurred in this House on the 22nd of July. Mr. Speaker, on the 21st of July, I attended the Northern Development Conference. I left home at dawn to honor the invitation of the majority leader. I returned very fatigued, but I still had to come to the house. I was taken ill the early hours of 22nd of July. And whilst on my hospital bed watching the TV, I witnessed an event in this very floor which left me very sad. Mr. Speaker, I found it very strange that after the selection committee had taken a decision to table a motion regarding composition of delegation to Pan-Africa and ECOWAS, two events took place on this House floor. One, on Pan-Africa. Mr. Speaker, after both leaders had discussed at length on the issue of Pan-Africa, I found it strange that a motion was moved that gave the MPP minority 1 seat with an observer status. Mr. Speaker, the formula we agreed in this House floor was to give us 2 seats. So what was given to us was not a favor. Our rights were denied us. And I'm saying that, Mr. Speaker, this must never happen. We demand that the majority must revisit this matter and ensure that the right thing is done. This is a house of precedents. Mr. Speaker, on the ECOWAS situation, the situation was worse. The leader of the house rose and moved a motion to vary the delegation, ostensibly taking my name out. Mr. Speaker, I found this very strange. I am a member of the ECOWAS Parliament, duly sworn in with a fixed mandate of 4 years. I am also a deputy speaker of ECOWAS Parliament. Mr. Speaker, internally, our side had done our own internal arrangement, and although leaders normally go to IPU and CPA, my deputy and I had discussed, and she was taking the slot for IPU and CPA. It would also interest you to know, Mr. Speaker, that as a leader, I am not on any committee in this parliament, apart from our statutory committees. So for an impression to be created that the deputy minority leader is being cheated and that the majority leader was coming to her rescue was rather very rich. Mr. Speaker, we must not allow such situations to happen. It takes away the very trust that exists between us as leaders. And I pray that this must never happen again. However, I am happy to announce that the deputy minority leader, upon becoming aware of this situation, swiftly reacted to it, and Mr. Speaker has also swiftly responded to the memo from the deputy minority leader, all aimed at resolving this matter. And I'm happy with the content of Mr. Speaker's response, which response gives me great relief that indeed there is still an opportunity for us to judge all and to resolve situations in this house. Mr. Speaker, let me thank parliamentary service staff led by the clerk to Parliament for their support. What would life be without you? We thank you for your industry. Mr. Speaker, To the Marshal and his able team, I say to them, thank you for supporting us as a parliament. Mr. Speaker, not the least, let me also thank the media. They have often stayed with us at long hours and carried our views to the people. Mr. Speaker, now back to this House. You, the first Deputy Speaker, and the second Deputy Speaker, in many situations, you were the ones presiding. Mr. Speaker, we also thank you. There were times that the minority disagreed with you, but I believe that in the spirit of democracy, we've managed to move on. And let me also thank colleagues in leadership, the majority leadership and the minority leadership. Let me thank you for supporting the cause of democracy in this House. As we go on our vacation, let me remind colleagues that family first. Family first. If all of you will be healthy, would have the right mental health to do your work as members of parliament, you must keep the home at peace. Let's find time for our family, our kids, our spouses, our partners. Let's find time for extended family, and let's check our health. Mr. Speaker, we too often get busy with our work and forget about our health. Let's not be afraid to go for checkups. Let's spend time to relax, but also be mindful of the mandate of the people who have given us this opportunity. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make it great and strong. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, before
thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. On Friday, August 29th, 2025, at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. As part of the day's activities, we are excited to announce a curtain raiser match between Parliament and Judiciary. Negotiations for this match are far advanced, and we are hopeful of a fruitful collaboration with the Judiciary, with the involvement of the acting Chief Justice. Parliament's team will be captained by the Honorable Mahama Ayariga. The Judiciary is yet to select their captain, but we are confident in our ability to compete when they bring their team. Honourable members who are interested in participating in the curtain raiser match and who believe they have the requisite soccer prowess are kindly requested to contact their respective whips to be included in the team. We intend to begin training in earnest during the upcoming recess. Honourable members, although the Democracy Cup will be played during the recess, you are reminded to mark the event in your calendars accordingly. Your participation and support are essential to the success of this event. Thank you. There is an appeal for the women to play at least 10 minutes. So that is granted. So, Honourable Majority Leader, you then have the floor. Ten minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I am most grateful for this opportunity to make this brief remark as this Honorable House draws down the curtains on this second meeting of the first session of the night Parliament. This meeting, which commenced on Tuesday, 27th May 2025, comes to a close today, Friday, 1st August 2025, to allow honorable members to take a break from the arduous plenary work. I describe it as arduous because during this meeting, the House held 43 sittings within a 10-week period. Some sittings were held on Saturdays, and most sittings even traveled very late in the night. As we are departing, a number of committees will still be working, and most importantly, the Public Accounts Committee will be very active and busy during the recess period. Committees also use this period to engage in site visits, monitoring and evaluation, stakeholder engagements, among others. As honorable members of this House, we understand that the recess period is never a break from parliamentary duties as it may appear to the public. Recess provides us the opportunity to visit and interact with our constituents in order to listen to their concerns and views on issues of governance and nation buildings, share meaningful insights, and receive the needed feedback from them. This period also provides us with ample time to spend with our families and loved ones, something we barely get to do due to the demands of the job. Over the past few months, we have had the opportunity to engage in fierce and rigorous debates, considered a number of bills, some under certificate of urgency, reviewed government policies, presented statements, and posed questions, mostly urgent, on matters of national importance. The committees have also been very busy and active during this meeting. Among the bills presented include the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Bill, which was passed, the Fisheries and Aquaculture Bill 2025, which was withdrawn, and then the Fisheries and Aquaculture Bill 2025, which was subsequently passed, the Public Holidays and Commemorative Days Amendment Bill, which has been passed, the Social Protection Bill, which was withdrawn, and then a new Social Protection Bill 2025, which has been passed, the Ghana Deposit Protection Amendment Bill, which has been referred to the Finance Committee, the University for Development Studies Bill 2025, which has been passed, the Ghana Scholarships Authority Bill, which is still at the consideration stage, the Ghana Medical Trust Bill, which passed, the famous Mahama Cares program has been passed, the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Bill number 2, which has been passed, the Road Maintenance Trust Fund Bill, which has been passed, the Securities and Intelligence Agencies Bill, which has been referred to the Committee on Security and Intelligence. The various instruments were also presented. The Environmental Protection, Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Certificate Regulations 2025, the Environmental Assessment Regulation 2025, Environmental Protection, Management of Ozone Depleting Substances, Halocarbon Alternatives and Their Products Regulation 2025, the Environmental Protection Effluent Regulation 2025, Environmental Protection Air Quality Management Regulations 2025, Environmental Protection Petroleum Regulations 2025, Immigration Service Amendment Regulations 2025, Public-Private Partnership Regulation 2025, Fees and Charges Miscellaneous Provisions Amendment Regulation 2025, Revenue Administration Regulations 2025, Judicial Service Terms and Conditions of Service Regulations 2025. Mr. Speaker, as you can see, a lot of work has been done focusing on dealing with our numerous environmental challenges. Mr. Speaker, the Appointments Committee, in discharging its mandate, vetted and submitted its report to the plenary for the approval of 4 deputy ministers to different portfolios in government. The nominations by the President that were approved by the House were Honorable Dorcas MP for Jomoro as Deputy Minister for Transport, Honorable James Jachikwesen MP for Asin North as Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, Honorable Mohammed Adam Sukwaru MP for Sisala West as Deputy Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, and Honorable Professor Grace Ayen Sudankwa MP Sikado Ketan, Deputy Minister for Health. It must be emphasized that these nominations were unanimously approved by the House by consensus. We therefore wish them the best in their deputy ministerial roles as they work to support the President to deliver on his mandate to the people. Mr. Speaker, the House was privileged to host the Honorable Finance Minister, the indefatigable Dr. Atuba Forson, and former minority and majority leader of this August House to deliver the well-received mid-year budget review for 2025 on behalf of the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The mid-year review clearly outlined government's efforts to stabilize the economy, restructure external debt, and renew key sectors like banking and infrastructure with focal attention on fiscal discipline, efficiency, and accountability. Inflation, which was hovering around 23.8% as of December 2024, has been brought down drastically to the 13.7%, an unprecedented economic achievement. The stabilization of the cedi, which was trading around 16 USD, has appreciated to around 16 Ghana cedis to the USD, has appreciated to around 11 Ghana cedis to the USD, which is 42.6% gain, easing import cost. The country's foreign reserves had swelled to 11.1 billion USD, that is 4.8 months import cover, up from the 3 months baseline. GDP has also surged by 5.3%, that exceeded the 4.4% full year projection. These are signs of a promising future and a better Ghana to come under the distinguished leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the National Democratic Congress. The mid-year budget review 2025 has been debated upon by this House at length, so I will give no further comment. Mr. Speaker, but something monumental happened in this House. Mr. Speaker, this House had the privilege, unprecedented, to host the Indian Prime Minister, His Excellency Prime Minister Modi, who came before us and addressed this Parliament and outlined Indian foreign policy in relation to Africa. I must say that subsequent to his address, I have met several Indians in country and abroad, and they all indicate that the whole world of India watched and saw what happened in this House, and of course they were excited to see that members of this House are very excited about Indian culture and wearing Indian dresses and Indian fashion. And they were very, very impressed with their Prime Minister's speech in this House. Indeed, it gave this House indeed a global visibility. And I think that we will in future encourage such visits by visiting foreign heads of state. Mr. Speaker, our female national team, the Black Queens, made us all proud when they won bronze medal from their participation in the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations, WAFCON, in Morocco. The team surprised Ghanaians by their outstanding performance, and even though I have congratulated them earlier, I will still use this opportunity to urge them not to rest on their laurels and continue to shine forth in their future games. we assure them of the full support of Parliament and work in their interest to ensure they continue to make the nation proud. Yesterday, Mr. Speaker, I represented this House at the Moving Peak Hotel at the launch of a fund for the support of the National League. And I assure them that parliamentarians in their various regions will participate in the fundraising effort to raise about $11 million to support the development of soccer in this country. Mr. Speaker, I will use this opportunity to urge all of you, as we go around engaging in the fundraising effort, to participate and assist us identify potential funding sources for the development of soccer and football in the country. That said, Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to inform the House that the Northern Caucus has been launched with the aim of unifying all members of Parliament from the 5 northern regions to put their arsenals together in championing development in the northern part of our country. The Maiden Northern Development Conference, a gathering that brought political leaders, traditional authorities, civil society organizations, and development partners together, has been held in Tamale following the launch of the caucus here in Parliament to draw a roadmap for the sustainable and inclusive development of the northern regions. Mr. Speaker, on a rather solemn note, death unfortunately befell this House through the sudden demise of Honorable Ernest Kumi, who represented the good people of Equatia in the early hours of 7 July 2025. This was a young man of 40 years with so much potential and promising future. His dedication and passion for parliamentary duties, even as first-time MP, was unrivaled, and there is no doubt that his untimely death is a great loss to this House. The nation again woke up to the news of the passing away of the Ghanaian legendary musician and high life icon, Mr. Charles Kojo Fosu, aka Daddy Lumba, which sadly occurred on 26 July 2025. These deaths are poignant reminders of the fleeting nature of the life we live here on earth. I will take this opportunity to wish their gentle souls peaceful rest and beseech their families and loved ones to find consolation in the Lord, because only He is our comforter. May their souls and the souls of the faithfully departed continue to rest in the bosom of our Maker. Mr. Speaker, absenteeism and lateness to the chamber by some members continue to be a plaguing issue affecting the smooth conduct of business by this August House. We must be cognizant of the fact that we are assigned a responsibility to ensure that the country's parliamentary democracy is held to high standards by becoming a benchmark on the continent. I therefore urge colleagues, as we go, let's actually take a good rest. Let's make sure we clear our private programs, and when Parliament is resuming, to dedicate the period for parliamentary business and not have to try to pair and then in the process miss out on attendance to this chamber. Mr. Speaker, the minority leader in his closing remarks raised a number of issues, and I think that it is only fair for me to provide some basic responses. Mr. Speaker, he raised the issue of Galamsey. I must admit that as a country, we must be united in the fight against Galamsey. It is a problem that has plagued our society, and in the last 4 years, Galamsey was a major problem. Our rivers were largely polluted. There was digging everywhere, and I was even shocked a few weeks ago when I was driving from Kumasi to Accra and saw that in some communities there was digging even right behind a police station building. Right behind a police station building, people were digging looking for gold. Mr. Speaker, this government, upon assumption of office, has put in place a number of measures aimed at decisively dealing with the problem of Galamsey and the pollution of our river bodies. Quite recently, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources commissioned 1,000 blue water guards. Those 1,000 blue water guards are already working and turning our water bodies, which had become brown, to blue. And I think that in due course, the various polluted rivers will be cleaned and we'll begin to see blue water, flowing in our rivers and not the brown, milky water that was flowing in them in 2024. We are also overhauling the licensing regime. Just last week, 907 licenses were announced, and people were being asked to come and rectify all their licenses so that we will have them on record, documented, the owners, the sites, so we can deploy, the requisite expertise to monitor activities at those 907 small-scale mining sites. Mr. Speaker, there is a well-coordinated fight against illegal mining led by the National Anti-Illegal Mining Team, that is NAIMOs, and they are fighting illegal mining. Mr. Speaker, Cabinet has approved a well-refined cooperative mining program to deal with the problem of illegal mining. And indeed, Cabinet has also voted significant amounts of money for alternative livelihoods. You will recall that yesterday in our closing debate on the mid-year budget, we recounted the various increments in social interventions, all meant to complement efforts that we are putting in place, driving people out of illegal mining sites, and you have to give them alternative livelihoods and support them. Mr. Speaker, there is an effective coordination in the importation of excavators. I want to report to this House that under the NPP, between 2023 to 2024, NPP arrested only 845 illegal miners, 2023-2024, and prosecuted only 35 persons. Within 6 months, the NDC government has arrested 1,345 people, and most of them are being processed for court. Mr. Speaker, we have seized 425 excavators. 425 excavators have been seized, and those 425 excavators are still held by the government of Ghana, and none of them is missing. Mr. Speaker, at the port, we are monitoring the importation of excavators, and over 1,000 excavators are being held at the port. Over 1,000 excavators are being held at the port. And there's a coordinated work between the Minerals Commission, DVLA, and Customs. And now, when you import an excavator, you will have to justify the reason for the importation. You have to show that you have a government contract that requires that you use an excavator, or you have to show that you have a mining concession or lease that requires the use of the excavator. And we will also install trackers on the excavators, and then also the movement of the excavators will be geo-fenced. So when you move the excavators, where the excavators are operating will be monitored by the Minerals Commission, the DVLA, and Customs. And because many of them cannot justify the importation of the excavators, we have over 1,000 excavators held up at the port. So the fight against illegal mining and Galamsey is continuing, unabated and relentlessly by this government. The minority leader mentioned attack on businessmen. Mr. Speaker, there is no attack on businessmen in this country. The persons that he mentioned are people that I personally know, and so when businessmen and state agencies have issues and they are being addressed using appropriate legal mechanisms, let not politicize them. Mr. Speaker, he talked about electricity tariffs. Indeed, when you say in one vein that we need to rationalize our energy sector, and yet you criticize any effort to engage in cost recovery when it comes to the production and sale of electricity, then it becomes very contradictory. Mr. Speaker, he also talked about investigative agencies using bail as a tool for punishing people who are being prosecuted. What I can say, Mr. Speaker, is that this House should not be used to intimidate investigative agencies. The YOCO was established by law, and YOCO was established by a law enacted by this Parliament or previous Parliament so that they can carry out a specific mandate. Indeed, the Office of Special Prosecutor was established by the new Patriotic Party government, and the law was enacted. The Special Prosecutor was appointed by the government of the new Patriotic Party when they were in office to exercise mandate that this Parliament gave them. And I think that in all the legislation that we have established, we have clearly spelled out that citizens have rights, and when those rights are being violated, they have access to our courts to go and vindicate their rights. I think that it is the height of hypocrisy for us to enact such fine laws, establish those institutions, and when they are exercising their responsibilities and their mandates, for us to sit in this House and criticize them and try to undermine them in the exercise of their legitimate duties. So, Speaker, those who feel aggrieved by those institutions know where to go to. They know the road to where the court buildings are, and they can afford lawyers to vindicate their rights. The minority leader also spoke about the Pan-African Parliament and the ECOWAS Parliament delegations that were constituted by this House. Right, Honorable Speaker, what I can say about that simply is that this House has appropriately passed resolutions, taken decisions on the composition of our delegations to the Pan-African Parliament and the ECOWAS Parliament, and I believe that any revocation of the decision of Parliament has to be based on another resolution of this House changing that decision. Otherwise, the decision remains the decision of Parliament. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, an important event occurred, and I was hoping to make a statement on that, but due to the constraints of time, I never got to make a statement on that. I'm sure many of you have read social studies and history, either senior high school or, those days secondary school, O-level or A-level at sixth form, or even in the university. And we all remember the famous bond of 1844, which was the bond that really began colonialism in the then Gold Coast, which is now Ghana. I'm happy to announce that last week, the National Archives of the United Kingdom brought to this Parliament a copy of the original bond of 1844, and we now have that. We now have a copy in our archives for viewing. Yes, the original copy, a copy of the original copy was brought here and given to the Speaker to be kept in our national archives. So all those who want to see the original copy of the bond of 1844 can walk to our can walk to the parliamentary archive, and they will see a copy of the original bond. I urge the students who visit us anytime they come to pass through our archives and view the copy of the bond of 1844. Mr. Speaker, as we proceed on recess, I will urge honorable colleagues to prioritize their health and general well-being. In spite of our busy and tight schedules, we must find time to rest and spend quality time with our families. While the work we do is important, taking care of ourselves and spending time with family is equally important. Our parliament, since its inception in 1993, has been inundated by so many preventable deaths, and it is time we prioritize our general health and well-being even as we serve the people. I will conclude by expressing my appreciation to the Right Honourable Speaker, his able deputies, honourable colleagues in the leadership, and the entire House for making us have a successful meeting. To the Clerk to Parliament and his hard-working staff, I say a big thank you for being there to provide the needed procedural advice and technical support to service us to be able to carry out our mandate here. You are the silent heroes, and I truly appreciate you and your work, Clerk and your team. To the Parliamentary Press Corps, I say thank you for choosing to be our partners on this journey. I would also like to thank the security personnel in Parliament have stepped up their game, and these days, because we sometimes close very late, you see them loitering around, guarding our vehicles, watching over our cars, and then our offices, and making sure that generally we are safe even as we stay here till very late. I say thank you all, and may God bless us. May God bless our homeland, Ghana. And then also, during this sitting, we began the live broadcast of parliamentary proceedings on our channel on GBC. So let me, GTV, let me thank the GTV team, the Director General and his team for providing us with that facility. Even though we made some investment, they generously gave us a channel, and now parliamentary proceedings are broadcast live, and I think that a lot more people are following proceedings of Parliament. I want to urge colleagues, during recess, we need to populate the channel with content. So once in a while, the Parliamentary Broadcast Department will be inviting you, even during recess, for media engagement so that we can have content to populate our TV channel. In addition, all committees that will be sitting during the recess should also inform the broadcasting team of Parliament so that they can cover the proceedings of the various committees, not just the public accounts, every other committee. And I know that many committees have referrals, and during the recess, they will be meeting over their referrals. Please communicate to the broadcasting team of Parliament so that they can cover those ones, and they can use those material as content in order that our channel will not be boring and without footages during the recess. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I thank you all. God bless this Parliament. God bless Ghana. And may you all get home safely and return to the next meeting of Parliament in good health. I thank you very much.
Honourable members, closing remarks by Right Honourable Alban Sumana, Kingsford, Bagme, Speaker of Parliament. At the end of the second meeting of the first session of the 9th Parliament of the Republic, honourable members, today marks the end of the second meeting of the first section of the 9th Parliament of the 4th Republic. We are grateful to God for keeping us alive and shepherding us throughout this period. I wish to express my sincere appreciation to all honorable members for your dedication, patriotism, and unwavering commitment to the business of the House. Over the course of the meeting held between May and August, Parliament convened a total of 43 sittings. During this time, the House diligently exercised its legislative, oversight, and representative functions, transacting significant businesses and deliberating on matters of national interest. Among the key highlights of this meeting are the following. Major constitutional business. On Thursday, 24th July 2025, the Honorable Minister responsible for Finance presented the mid-year review of the budget statement and economic policy for the 2025 financial year. It outlined 5-point strategy aimed at curbing inflation and stabilizing the economy through prudent fiscal management, targeted agriculture investment, improved monitoring coordination, and enhanced utility pricing mechanism. Nominations by the President. The House successfully vetted and approved the nominations of 7 justices of the Supreme Court and 4 deputy ministers of state, fulfilling our constitutional mandate under Article 144 of the 1992 Constitution. I commend the Appointment Committee for its professionalism and the House for its vigilance. Questions and ministerial accountability. In all, 497 questions were admitted and processed. Out of these, 297 were asked and answered. They comprise of 242 oral questions and 55 urgent questions. This reflects our deep commitment to ensuring accountability, transparency, and responsiveness from the executives. Bills. During the course of the meeting, 13 bills were presented, out of which 8 were passed, 1 at consideration stage, 2 at committee level, and 2 rescinded. This includes the following. 1. The Energy Sector Levies Amendment Bill 2025 passed. 2. Fisheries and Aquaculture Bill 2025 withdrawn on the 8th of July 2025. 3. Fisheries and Aquaculture Bill 2025 passed. 4. Public Holidays and Commemorative Days Amendment Bill 2025 passed. 5. Social Protection Bill 2025 withdrawn on 28th July 2025. 6. Social Protection Bill 2025 passed. 7. Ghana Deposit Protection Amendment Bill 2025 referred to Finance Committee. 8. University for Development Studies Bill 2025 passed. 9. Ghana Scholarships Authority Bill 2025 at consideration stage. 10. Ghana Medical Trust Fund Bill 2025 passed. 11. Energy Sector Levies Amendment Number 2 Bill 2025 passed. 12. Road Maintenance Trust Fund Bill 2025 passed. 13. Security and Intelligence Bill 2025 referred to Committee on Security and Intelligence. Instruments presented. 11 instruments were presented to the House during the meeting, of which 6 came into force. However, 2 instruments, namely the Environmental Protection, Mining in Forest Reserves, Amendment Regulations 2025, and the Corporate Insolvency and Restructuring Regulations 2025, which were presented during the first meeting, came into force in this meeting. Statements and business statements. During the meeting, 73 statements by members and ministers on various issues were taken. A number of them were referred to relevant committees for consideration and report. In addition, the House also adopted 10 business statements to guide its weekly activities. Resolutions. The House, in accordance with Article 75, 181, and 268 of the 1992 Constitution, where applicable, considered and approved by resolution the following. 1. Membership of Pan-African Parliament. 2. Membership of ECOWAS Parliament. 3. 7 treaties, protocols, and conventions. 4. 2 financial agreements. 5 mining leases. And 6. 131 timber utilization contracts. Approval and disbursement formula. The House considered and approved the 2025 National Health Insurance Fund formula. Other businesses. The following categories of businesses were presented to the House and accordingly referred to the appropriate committee for consideration and reports. 16 budget performance reports. 11 Auditor General's reports. 5 mining leases agreements of pain and sorrow. Payment of pain and sorrow. Painful loss of a member. We were profoundly saddened by the untimely passing of our colleague, Honorable Ernest Yaokumi, the Member of Parliament for Equatia, who passed away on 7th July 2025 at the youthful age of 40. His demise, attributed to heart failure, is a painful reminder of the demanding nature of our calling. As a House, we must begin earnest discussion on comprehensive healthcare support program tailored to the unique pressure of our parliamentary work. Electoral integrity. We also took note of the recent electoral dispute in Abrekumanov during the rerun of the parliamentary election. The incident involving the former Member of Parliament, Honorable Mavis Hawa Kumsen, must renew our collective commitment to legal reforms, institutional accountability, and the promotion of peaceful democratic processes. This House unequivocally condemns all forms of political violence and reaffirms its dedication to safeguarding electoral integrity. Tribute and acknowledgements. Permit me, however, to acknowledge your efforts, commitment, and contributions to making this second meeting generally successful. I extend heartfelt gratitude to the first and second deputy speakers for their dedication and hard work and competence in presiding over proceedings in my absence. To the leadership of the House on both sides, I commend your effort, even as I remind you that Parliament is not a courtroom, but a political institution built on deliberations, negotiations, and consensus building. To the clerk, to Parliament, deputy clerk, and the entire staff of the parliamentary service, your procedural rigor and technical expertise remain unseen pillar that uphold our daily work. To our media partners, especially members of the Parliamentary Press Corps, your diligent reportage and commitment to public information enhance democratic transparency and civic engagement. This House acknowledges your vital role and pledges continuous support. As we rise today, let us remember that recess is not a vacation. It is a return to the people we represent. I urge all honorable members to use this period to reconnect with constituents, undertake field oversight, and deepen parliamentary democracy. Let us embrace our responsibilities with renewed purpose and conviction. This meeting has demonstrated what is possible when we work together, transcending partisan interests to serve the greater good. Let us carry forward the spirit of consensus building, national unity, and public service that has defined this section. May we return reinvigorated, ready to confront new challenges and seize new opportunities for the benefit of all Ghanaians. May God bless you all. May God bless our Parliament, and may God bless the Republic of Ghana. Honourable members, with these few words, I hereby proceed to adjourn the House sine die. Thank you very much.